What is up, YouTube? I figured I'd just go live, and we're kicking things off with Henry Unfiltered. Today is a sad day for America, and I just wanted to come on here, and I've been called to talk about how I feel in a lot of different ways. This is not just this is not a political message. This is a message about standing up for what I believe in, and I just want to be able to speak freely. I'm not even going to get too much into politics. I don't want to speak about anything else other than I just want to be able to come on here and announce that we're going to be doing a live podcast a little bit more frequently. I'm just going to come on here, speak my mind. I want to connect with more of my people. Before we get started, obviously, I obviously want to just say, my deepest sympathies and my condolences and my prayers go out to the family, Charlie Kirk's family, and it's sickening what's happened today. But I wanted to come on here because I felt called to speak more to the people who have been following me for a long time. I feel like I have a voice and I'm not speaking enough on things that I believe in, and I want to come on here and talk about it, which is I want to talk to all of you guys who've been dealing with maybe mental health. I want to come on here and talk about, for those of you who are feeling like the industry has been beating you up a little bit, you feel a little bit tired, you feel a little bit exhausted, you feel a little bit frustrated, you feel stressed out. Like, I wanted to come on here and just talk about, a lot of things that a lot of people are experiencing right now. This is not anything other than just me speaking to you from my heart, and more of a way for us to connect as people. So I want to give you guys a little bit more of an understanding and context here. I've been fearful about sharing more about who I am and what I believe in, just because I want to stay out of everything. And by no means is this political. This is just I want to connect more with my audience. I want you to know who I really, what I believe in, who I am, and what I stand for. And it's like, look, I was a depressed and suicidal kid for a long period of time, and I attempted on my life a handful of times before the age of 13, and there's been a lot of tough times and things that I've had to, that I've gone through, and today is one of those things. Today, what happened today with Charlie Kirk is sickening, and I wanted to. It made me want to share more of who I am, and just continue to share my story and help more people out there who are experiencing maybe things that I went through, and that's the whole premise here. So I want to just at least give you guys more of a little bit more about me and what I'm about and what I care about and what I think about. So for those of you who are experiencing challenges in your life, the people who are, you feel like your back is against the wall. For those of you who feel like this industry is kicking your ass, for those of you who, are fearful of the future, for those of you who, think this economy is really, keeping you down, it's making it difficult for you to achieve your goals. Like this is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the real, the raw, the honest, what is everybody actually feeling? I want to connect with everybody here and, and talk more about like what's going on in the economy and the world, and just kind of how I see things. So I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit more about it. Again, I'm just going to do this whenever I have time and just come on here live and speak. So, again, if this resonates with you, great. And if it doesn't, no problem. It's totally fine. But I just felt compelled to talk to my people, the people who are in our community. So I wanted to share this. Like I had mentioned, I've experienced some crazy mental health issues as a kid. I went through some, I was bullied like crazy. There was well over 100 days of my high school where I would leave school in the middle of the day because I was bullied so bad that I couldn't take it anymore. And, I want to stand up for those people who are experiencing those types of things. So, I'm here to say, like, look, if you're experiencing mental health challenges, if you're experiencing anxiety, stress, anything that you feel like is really pushing you down, this quick message is for you, which is the purpose, purpose and in goals and and aligning yourself with incredible human beings, or people who and changing your environment, and and pursuing things that are outside of who you are, right? Like the things that light me up the most is helping individuals out in the world who who need support, and connecting with people, not for financial gain, but like me just chasing my purpose, right? Like I truly just want to help as many people as possible live fuller lives, more exciting lives, more financially abundant lives, more spiritually abundant lives, more just more exciting lives in general, right? Like I feel like I was put on this planet for a purpose, and I have a message, and I stand for things that I believe other people believe in, and I'm here to stand for those things, like the values I believe in. I believe in respect and abundance, and kindness and joy and freedoms, and like all these different things that I want other people to be able to experience. I want other people to experience, like as an example, real estate has given me massive levels of financial abundance, and I want other people to feel that. That is why I come on here and I share the content in my, it's the one thing I feel like I do a halfway decent job at in life. Like, look, I don't claim to feel like I know everything. I don't feel, like I don't feel like I've accomplished, quote, that much of what my true potential is. I feel like I've done my freaking best every day, and I will continue to do my best, and I will continue to share a message of kindness and abundance and joy, and as much wisdom as I have, and everything that I've experienced, I will continue to share that on social media, because all I want is for everyone else to live happier and more financially abundant lives. That's all I want for everybody, right? And if I can help a few people along the way, throughout whatever time that God gives me on this earth, if I can help a few people out there accomplish some portion of their dreams and aspirations, like I feel like I would have had, I've done enough, right? Like that's it. I want to, give the best life that I possibly can to my wife, my family, and my future kids and the generations to come. I just want to do my absolute best. That's why I'm here. And, I've come on here, and I want to continue to share nothing but, joyous abundance, thoughts, and that's why I create the content. I just want to help more people. I want to create more joy in the world. I want to create more abundance in the world. I want to create more, happy, kind, respectful people in the world. That is what I feel like I can do, right? And I will do my part to continue to share a joyous, respectful, financially abundant message out there, right? So, like for everything that has happened today, like I want more. I want to call upon other people to continue to share a joyous, abundant message where, like for those of you, if you have a message to share, share it. Don't be quiet. Like, again, if you have a joyous, respectful, abundance message in the world, share it. You deserve to share it. And I felt compelled today to come on here and know that, like, hey, someone was taken today because they wanted to share their word and their message. And I'm not afraid to share my message of abundance and joy and being respectful. And, I will continue to create content, for as long as, for as long as I can. And I will continue to put out, my continuous message. So I just wanted to come on here and speak my truth, like that. I believe every single person here has a voice. Every single person here has something that they believe in, and you deserve to share it to the world. And I want to share my joyous, happy, abundant, financially abundant message. We can be abundant in every which way in our lives. I want everyone in my world to experience abundance in every which way, spiritually, relationally, financially. Every single person here deserves that. And that is my message. And I will do everything in my power to support every person who comes into my world achieve that. Right. Financial, spiritual, and financial abundance. That is my message. I want everyone to experience that. That's what I care about most. And that's why I create content. That's why I come to all of you. So if you are experiencing anything that isn't financial, spiritual, or relational abundance, I'm here to stand with you and support you the best I possibly can to share my story. Because, as someone who's made, in a lot of people's eyes, a decent amount of money. I say that in the way, like I've been blessed in a way where I feel like I have to stand for what I believe in. And I want to share all of that. And I don't, with all the content I have online, I will continue to share that in the best way that I possibly can for as long as I can. Like I grew up, in a middle class family. I grew up, in an area, very very diversified. What is it called? Diversified, diverse area. I grew up in a very diverse area, and like I wouldn't say it was I definitely wouldn't say that it was a bad area, but I grew up in an area where I still was, even in a middle class area, in a somewhat diverse area, I was still bullied. For being who I was. I attempted on my life 3 times before the age of 13. I was, again, I was, suicidal and depressed for a very long period of time in my life, from 8 to 18, nearly basically around a decade of my life. I was suicidal, depressed, and filled with anxiety every day. And it wasn't until I had somebody who believed in me, who saw something in me more than I saw in myself, right? Because I wrote it down 100,000 times. I swear to you guys, where all I would write down over and over and over again was that I just want to be worth a damn. And I wrote that down every day because I felt worthless. I had no self-esteem. And still, with all of that, okay, I'm a 2-time college dropout. Like all my entire family thought I would amount to nothing. Right. I quit a corporate job making $40,000 a year to chase a dream that I could become something in the real estate business, even though no one believed in me. And guess what? I somehow, within a 10-year time frame, right, was able to create some decent level of financial abundance, right, where I can live wherever the heck I want. I can take care of my family in the way I deserve. And I come here to say that any person can achieve the same if they put their mind to it, if they have the right people in their, they create a different environment than maybe what you're experiencing today. And I'm here to just make a stand to say that anybody can live a financially, relationally, and emotional, abundant life. Right. But it takes change. It takes getting out of your comfort zone. It takes, sometimes making a change in your life that feels so freaking scary. Right. But you are called to do so. Just like I am called to have this conversation with all of you right now. I feel called to do so, where I don't care about judgment. I don't care about anything. I'm just here because I care about every person that comes into my life. I care about the people who are watching the journey. I don't care if you've watched one piece of content. You're brand new to me. You watch one piece of content. Or you've been watching me for a long time. I care about your well-being. I care about your future, and I will do everything in my power to ensure that you live the most abundant life possible in every facet of your life. Because if I'm somebody who can, who could have experienced crazy emotional distress in my life for a decade and just want to be worth a damn, to be worth several $1 million when I didn't even believe in me. If I could do that, anybody here can. And it's like, I'm sorry it's taken until experiences like I've had today, seeing somebody taken because he spoke his mind. Like, I don't care about the politics of it. I don't care if you liked him or you hated him. It's not about that. It's about someone who just wanted to speak their mind and share their voice and share their mission with the world, and they were taken. And I'm here to say I will not be silenced. I will speak my mind. I will speak the way I feel, because all I care about is helping people live more abundant lives, period. That's why I'm here. And it does make me crazy emotional thinking about my childhood. It makes me crazy emotional thinking about all the things that I've had to go through to get to where I am today. And by the way, I'm turning 31. I actually, my birthday is the day before Charlie's, the 13th of October. I didn't even know that. And, it's like one of those things, guys, where it's like, if I, as somebody who was on the verge of, taking my own life a little over 10 years ago, who didn't think I could amount to anything, who didn't think I could achieve anything, who, dropped out of college twice. I dropped out for the first time and tried to start my own thing, and then it didn't work out. And I went back to college because I thought that was the right thing to do. And then I dropped out again because I felt called to live a different life. I wanted something different. I wanted something different, and no one else saw it, by the way. No one else saw it to be possible. Even when I started making a little bit of money, my family didn't believe it, right? no one in my world, actually believed that it would continue. And it was more of a, you got lucky. And I continue to work hard, and I continue to put in, 100 hours, work weeks. In the silence, I went ghost. I missed birthdays and parties and events and all these different, whatever, with family and friends and whatever, because I cared more about my future and my generations to come, my future kids. I don't have kids now, but I cared more about the future my kids will live, what I will be able to do for my family, than I cared about, the what other people think. And for those of you who are going through something, right, and maybe your family's the one, not supporting you, your friends aren't supporting you, and it's just you and the person in the mirror, right? This message is for you. You are not alone. You are not alone. We will stand together. I will stand with you in it, because I can tell you that being an entrepreneur is tough. Okay? It is not easy. Even with, nearly a 40-person team, with lots of individuals who helped me build what we've built and continue to build on it, right? It is not easy to be an entrepreneur. It is not easy to wake up every day, right, to look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I'm going to go after it today. It is not easy. It is a damn hard choice that you get to make each and every single day, but I will make that choice every day for the rest of my life, because the alternative is nothing I want to have, right? I do not relate to any part of that other, the opposite decision, right? Waking up and then just going to work for somebody else and building up someone else's dream. No, I will fight for what I want. I don't care how hard it gets. I will continue to fight and get up and go to work, and I will make my dreams a reality. I don't care if it happens today, tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, a quarter from now, a year from now, or many decades from now. I will do whatever it takes to have my dreams become a reality. And I want you to know that each and every single one of you, it might take longer to achieve the things you want to achieve in life. It might take longer than you expect. Matter of fact, it probably will. Okay? I'm here to tell you, it probably will take longer than you expect, but it's not as long as you it's not as long as you will imagine. I promise you. It's not as long as you could possibly imagine, but it's longer than you think it will. I promise you that. And if you're willing, if you're able, and are committed enough to doing whatever it takes for long enough, you too can see the abundance that life can give you. I don't care if it's in real estate or anything else. It does not matter. Just because I chose the vehicle of real estate, and I'm proud to be a part of a great company that allows me to chase my dreams the way I desire, right? And I am around amazing individuals and people who think the way I do. But that was not always the case. It wasn't always the case. And it will not always be the case. There will be people who come into my life, people will come into your life, and they will try to take down what you've created, right? Like, there are people who will think negatively of you. There will be people who try to tear down the buildings that you are trying to create. There are people, and have been people, who tried to tear down my buildings, right? There are people who are in my future, right, will try to tear down what I'm trying to create. And guess what? You get to stand tall or let you fall victim to those people. You have that choice every day. You can either fall victim to what they want, right? The others, the people who talk negatively to you, the naysayers, right? You can either fall victim to their word and allow their word to become truth, or you can stand tall for your truth, right? And again, by the way, just because you make a bunch of money, right, you still have a choice every day to have that continue, right? It doesn't just stay forever, right? I still get to work every single day, go to work every day, make a decision every day to continue creating the abundance I have created, because I want more. I feel like I deserve more. I have a huge dream, a huge mission that I want to help as many freaking people as possible live amazing, incredibly abundant lives in every fashion of the word. And if you want the same thing, like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment below. We need to stand together, because look, I'm telling you, there are so many people around who are feeling stress and anxiety and frustration, and they are scared to freaking death of the future, right? And I'm telling you, guess what? I don't know what the future holds. I have absolutely no idea what the future holds, but all I know is that if I get to wake up tomorrow, if God gives me the gift of waking up tomorrow, I will do whatever I can to make it the best day possible. For myself, for my family, for the people that are in my world, I will do whatever it takes to live in full abundance. Even if things suck in the moment, I will do whatever I can every day to try to live a joyous, abundant life in every aspect of my life, right? And I don't have to feel perfect. There's a lot of times where, I don't feel 100% and I still get to go to work, right? I still get to show up every day. I get to show up and make my calls and show up on my trainings for my coaching community. I get to show up for my team and for the other people in my life at 100% regardless, even if internally I'm not 100%, right? Because it does not matter how I actually feel personally, right? And that might be a hot take or not. I don't care. All that matters to me is that my family gets to live, the life they desire. My kids, my future kids get to live a different life than I grew up with, right? I never want them wondering, right? I never want them wondering about their own self-worth. I want them to grow up confident, right? I want them to grow up strong. I want them to, know that no matter what they want to accomplish in life, they are capable. I did not believe that for myself for a very long period of time. I didn't. And I did not end up believing in myself until I found somebody else who believed in me more than I believed in my own self. There was some stranger, right? It was my boss at my second job who saw something in me that I never saw before. And he had this belief that he poured into me that gave me such unwavering confidence that just said, like, you know what? I am capable of achieving what I want to achieve in life. You know what, Henry? It didn't even matter if I believed it or not. He believed it. And that one person's belief changed my life forever. So I want you to know I can be that person for you because I do believe. I do, even if we've never met before, and maybe this is the first time we're ever meeting for ever because you're watching my content for the first time. It does not matter I believe that every single person, you and every person, right, who comes into my world, any person I've ever met or will meet, I believe that everyone has the ability to create incredible abundance in their life, whether it's through real estate or any other vehicle that they choose. Everybody has that ability. But it will only occur when you say enough is enough. I am capable, I am willing, and I am committed, right, to doing whatever it takes for as long as it takes, okay? Because that is the only type of mindset that will get you to where you want to go. I will do whatever it takes for as long as it takes. Those people who don't allow failure to be an option, right? Because failure to me is only quitting. It is only giving up. So it is impossible for me to fail. I might not achieve everything I desire this year or the year after, the year after, the year after. I might not accomplish everything I set out to, but I know that if God gives me, the ability to wake up tomorrow and the next day, every single day, I would just do my best and my best will be good enough. Period. End of story. And for everybody here, it will be good enough. If you go out there, if you wake up tomorrow and you go, hey, I'm going to go to work and I'm going to give it 100%. I'm going to give it my best. I'm going to do whatever I can every day that I wake up, and that will be enough. It is okay. Regardless, if you can just wake up tomorrow with invigoration, I know it's late tonight, but when you wake up tomorrow, even right now, if there's something that you could be doing, like, again, you get that spark of ambition that, you're reinvigorated with energy, just go to work, go do something right now that can make your future life positive. Set yourself up for success tomorrow, whatever it is. Obviously, there's people even on, the West Coast where you could be waking, right now it's only not even 6 o'clock. Go after it. Continue going after it. Your dreams, okay, will continue to be dreams unless you do the work to create them in reality, right? Your dreams will continue to be dreams unless you actually do the work to create that reality. And there's enough of you here, right? There's plenty of you here that, by watching the content, okay, for free. I literally put out a ton of free content. Just do the work. Make the calls. Whatever it takes every single day. Because if you are just consistent enough, right? If you're just consistent enough doing simple actions every day, you will create more abundance than you realize. And it does not have to be hard, feel hard, be difficult. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't. And the only thing that makes it difficult is this. We make it difficult. We have this mindset, this vision, this blurry judgment, right? Like we have this weird perception that things that are out of, quote, feeling like they're out of reach are difficult and hard. And guess what? They're not, right? They're actually not that difficult. They're actually not that hard. So I'm here to share with you, hey, if you just do the simple activities and you do them consistently and you do them at a volume, okay, you do it at a volume consistently where it would be unreasonable for you not to get results for long enough, it will be like, it will give you results faster than you can even imagine. It brings like a smile to my face, because it's like, if everybody just realized that you can have everything you desire in life, you literally can have everything you could ever imagine. You can live, your lifestyle will change forever if you can just focus for a few short years, and it will take years. Right? It won't take months. It won't take weeks. If you can just be consistent enough for a few short years, your life will change forever. It will absolutely change forever. I just want to read some of these comments, because obviously some of you guys are in here. I needed to hear this. Thank you. Of course. Thank you for sharing, my guy. Emotions used correctly to change your life. Absolutely awesome message. Thank you. I can't cold call anymore, so I started to write letters. I'm going to take a lot longer, but it's against the law to cold call in Texas right now. Any tips? Yes, we could talk about this. One of the best real estate content creators out there. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for the knowledge. Of course. Thank you guys for just listening to the message. I appreciate it. And look, if this resonates with you, please give this, like the video, comment down below. I want to hear from every single one of you, because again, your voice matters. Speak up. Your voice matters. Your dream matters. And I'm just here to support you in achieving your dream just this much sooner. That if I can do that, I will feel like I've accomplished something, right? Like, I'm just going to do that. Again, I'm trying to do it and be an example for everybody here, that if you're just consistent enough for long enough, you can create some incredible abundance in your life. And I'm not just saying financially, even though that will happen when you're consistent, but I am saying relationally and spiritually as well, and physically as well, right? Everything that you want in life is just a little bit more consistency in your, like for doing a couple things in your life that maybe you're not doing for a consistently over a long enough period of time. That's realistically the thing, right? So, by the way, if you have questions, you can please feel free to reach out. You can drop in the chat. I want this to be a little bit more. I want this to be interactive and communication. By the way, Julian's saying, again, I started to write letters and because it's against the law to cold call in Texas now. Email me at info@henryeisenstein.com. I want to connect with you a little bit more, because I have a feeling that the cold calling that you actually can do, right? There's actually a huge opportunity for cold calling in Texas. I just think you have to have a different languaging and scripting, because I think there was a national law that went into effect about cold calling, because if you call as an investor, you're not selling anything. You're just trying to buy something. You actually are able to make calls. So just connect with me. I'll be able to make sure that you are, use the right scripting so you can make some calls. Because again, your dream matters, and we will find a way, even if it means that you got to write a bunch of letters or something else. We will find a way for you to see the success you desire. We will find a way, period, end of story. And it's like, look, guys, I don't need these to be long. I don't need these to be dragged out. I don't need but I felt compelled to share a message that everybody deserves abundance in their life in every fashion. Right? Every single person here deserves abundance, and I'm here to make it so, and I will do everything in my power to do so. Right? So, again, I felt compelled to just say that, if you're feeling scared, if you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling stressed out, if you have some anxiety about the future, it's okay. Guess what? I feel the same anxieties and stresses that you do, just in a little bit different of a way. I feel it, slightly different. I want to create, a life that is different than I have today, because I want my kids, I still have goals and dreams and ambitions I haven't accomplished yet, right? Like, I have things that I'm thinking about, like, hey, it keeps me up at night, right? Like, where I have sometimes these, I wouldn't call them panic attacks, but I have these, like these things that just keep me up at night, like all these things that I want to accomplish. Do I have enough time? Will it happen in my lifetime? And what I have peace, what brings me peace of mind is that if given long enough, I can accomplish anything, right? That's what gives me peace. And because it might just take me a little bit longer to accomplish it, which is okay, because I don't think I'm the smartest. I don't think I'm the best cold caller around. I don't think I'm the biggest, baddest real estate dude around, because I know there's plenty of other people who are better than me out there, and that so be it. Right? I understand that. And I'm okay with it. And I'm just going to do my best every day. And I'm going to do my best to when I make my calls, I'm going to do my best when I do my trainings. I'm going to do my best when I lead my team. I'm going to do the best when it comes to, bringing more people into my world. I'm just going to do my best every day, and my best is good enough. And, so I have all these dreams and ambitions. Like, again, I want to build a multi-thousand person commercial real estate sales team. I want to have the biggest commercial sales team in the country. That is a dream of mine. I want to own billions of dollars of commercial real estate. I want to own a huge fund. That is a huge passion of mine, a dream of mine. right? Like I want to help as many, like I've, helped 10,000 people or hundreds of thousands of dollars in the commercial real estate business because I am capable of helping that many people. I want to be able to do that. I want to change bloodlines. I want to change families' lives, right? Because I feel like I have the ability to support people in this industry that has given me this the financial abundance I have now and the financial abundance I will experience in the future. Like as an example, my team's we're gonna make over $1 million in fees over the next 30 days in our business in the commercial real estate business. And it's like, it is freaking crazy because I still remember looking at a spreadsheet of my pipeline many years ago. And I was like, I just want to have over $100,000 in commissions pending. And we have several $million in commissions and fees pending right now. And it's like, I can't wait till it's 10 million. And I can't wait till, it's $100 million. And because I get excited for all the people in my organization who are getting checks, like that lights me the hell up, where I have, a 21-year-old kid who's going to make $150,000 in the next 30 days. I have, these young people who are going to make, hundreds of thousands of dollars this year. And it's like, that lights me the hell up. Right. And because I know in the coaching community, I mean, I'm seeing so many people achieve all these amazing things, crazy multi-six-figure commission checks. I'm seeing, these people take listings that they never thought that, multi-million dollar listings they've never taken before, get accepted contracts on, multi-million dollar deals with, six and multi-six-figure commission checks because it's possible. I'm a 2-time college dropout who was suicidal from 8 to 18. And it's like, this industry pays me millions of dollars a year. And it's like, there's nothing else on planet Earth that would do that. Commercial real estate in general is this absolute gift from God, in my opinion, where any person who is committed enough, who has, enough willingness, enough confidence to get on the phone, every single person who is willing to do whatever it takes for long enough, is willing to be consistent for long enough, put volume in prospecting for long enough, you can make unreasonable money. Okay. You don't have to, you don't have to be that smart. I'm a 2-time college dropout. You don't have to be, it doesn't matter about, your physical appearance. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter about, how smart you are or the family the bloodline you come from, right? It doesn't matter your last name. If you are, committed enough, willing, and you're willing to be consistent for long enough and go volumes each and every single day at unreasonable amounts that would make it unreasonable for you not to see success, commercial real estate will create abundance, financial abundance in your life like you've never imagined. And it brings me so much joy to be able to help people do that. Right. So it's like, for all of you who are listening and who are watching, I just want you to know I stand with you. I am here to lead the way the best I possibly can by doing my best every day, by sharing a message, by just showing you, as I want to be living proof that if you just do your best every day, right, your best will be good enough and you will create amazing abundance in your life like you've never imagined. Real estate has created a life for me that I never imagined thus far. And I'm excited to see where I'll be, because I'm 30 now. I'm excited to be where I'm 40 and when I'm 50 and where I'm 60 and 70, right? And if God gives me 80 or 90, right? Like I'm excited to see where I will be decade after decade after decade of just doing my best and being consistent for long enough, right? For longer than other people. One thing that Patrick Bet-David states, and I love Patrick, he's the man. I've met him several times. I smoked a cigar with him, many months ago at a cigar club here in Florida. And he said, like one of the things that he talks about is outlasting the competition. If you can outwork and outlast your competition, right? He's got a great saying, outlast, outperform, and outwork your competition. There's if you can do that for long enough, right? The outlast piece is really critical because not enough people do it for long enough. There's too many people who don't do it for long enough. There's so many people here who have a dream, who have a goal, right? And you're not consistent enough in order to get to it, right? You don't do enough volume every single day to actually accomplish the vision and the dream that you have. And I'm just here to give you to breathe confidence and belief into you that, hey, you are capable. You can have the life you desire, but you just need to be more consistent. You need to have higher levels of volume every day, and you need to do that consistently for long enough periods of time where it can compound. Because getting the train out of the station, the train meaning your business, and getting it out of the station of financial abundance, right? It will take longer than you imagine it will. It will take some time. but it's not longer than you're capable of going, right? It's not going to, it's going to be longer than you can think of, but it's not going to be longer than you're capable of doing. You are capable of living the financial abundant future that you want. And I'm here to I want to be that proof for all of you, right? Because it's like, if me, a 2-time college dropout, right, in the next 30 days could put, over $1 million, we're generating over $1 million in commissions and fees over the next 30 days. If I can do that, someone who's not that special, I don't think I'm that special. I don't think I'm that smart. I don't think I'm that special. I don't think I'm that talented. But one thing that I can do better than most is I can show up every day and do my best. Every day I can show up and give my best, regardless of how I feel, right? I don't care if I feel, at 100% or not. I don't care if I feel good or not. I don't care if I'm up to it or not. I can just go to work and I can show up every day, every week for longer than most people are willing to. And I believe that is one of my superpowers. So that's why I come on here, because I want to be the one who can, to breathe belief and confidence into every single one of you here today, because I believe all of you are capable of the same thing. Because you don't need to be that talented. You don't need to come from some amazing, family. You don't have to come from money. You don't have to, be that smart or graduate some amazing college. If you can get a real estate license, okay, and you are willing to be coachable, and you are willing to just be consistent and be more consistent than other people, you too can create abundance in your life. You are capable. And I'm just here to lead the way and provide the proof that, guess what? If I can do it, you can do it too, right? Because I believe that you can accomplish amazing, incredible things that will change your bloodline forever, that will change your last name forever. I think you are capable of doing that, right? And again, it brings me to freaking tears to think about someone like Charlie, who is gunned down for speaking his mind, right? For just, for believing in other people, for having a mission, right? I believe, we all should take a stand and do whatever it takes to accomplish our mission in life, our goals in life, our ambitions in life, because that's what Charlie wants. He wants us to be more, just to be respectful, kind individuals who are just chasing our dreams, who are doing whatever it takes, who are unreasonable in our level of action, okay, to go after our dreams and create amazing abundance, genuine, kind, loving, respectful abundance in every fashion of your life, because that's what Charlie wants. And I will be one of the people who stands tall and said, I'm going to share in that mission. I just want to create the most incredible, joyous, fun, kind, respectful, abundance, relationally, spiritually, physically, and financially in my life and everyone's life around me. That's my mission, and that's what I want to create, right? And, I came on to here, I'm coming on here today because Charlie has lit a fire under my ass, right? I feel compelled to come on here and share my voice, where I was scared to share my voice, right? I had a fear of a lot of, I was like, oh, whatever. I don't need to talk about it. It's okay. There's plenty of other people who talk about it. No, enough is enough. I just get to come on here and talk about it. I just get to come on here and speak how I feel, and it's totally okay, right? I just get to tell you how I feel straight from the heart, because that's where all of this is coming from. This is not political. There's no hidden agendas. I just want everyone to live happy, genuine, respectful, blissful, kind, joyous, abundant lives, spiritually, financially, physically, relationally. That's all I care about. That's all I want, right? That's why I create more content. That's why I do what I do. That's why I work so fucking hard, because my family deserves that, right? My family deserves an incredibly joyous life. My kids, my sons and my daughters, if I'm blessed to have them, okay, deserve to grow up confident and, happy, respectful, and they deserve people, right? And they get to grow up in a world where they can feel safe and loved and appreciated, right? Not scared to share their voice. Because I just want to show that show my kids that you can come on and you can share your voice, you can share how you feel. It does not matter, right? That's what I'm here for. That's what I will stand for. I will share my voice. I will come on here and I will lead, the way for as many people as I can to show you what's possible. And look, if you're with me, obviously, again, like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your voice, because your voice matters to me as well. And if you are in the commercial real estate business, or even just in the real estate business in general, I want you to know you can count on me to do whatever it takes to give you as much wisdom as I possibly can, to come on here and to record it and post as much content for as long as I'm willing and able to. Okay. I will put out whatever I can to give you the most support out there possible. Okay. I will do whatever I can when it comes to education in the real estate world, because I just want to create as much education around the commercial real estate business that I possibly can create. Right. So more people can feel and create financial abundance in their life, because it'll make everything easier to create abundance in other places. Right. So if you want to make money in the commercial real estate business, I would recommend that you follow me. If you don't, if you also believe what I believe and you want to help other people create, incredible financial abundance, amazing. And you get to share your voice too. Right. That's what this is about. I want to lead that charge. Right. So if you're interested in making more money in the commercial real estate business, I hope my content that I have created and will continue to create has helped you guys. And you can count on me to continue to create content. So I want to take some time now to answer some questions about the commercial real estate business. This is going to be like, again, you can, what I'm actually going to do is that I'm actually going to put a number on here. So if you guys want to call out, so we're going to try this. I've never done this before, but if you guys want to call a number right now, I'm going to put this out there. If you guys want to call a phone number, this is going to be an ability for you guys to reach out. I'm going to do like a phone call, and you guys can reach out and we can ask questions. Okay. So I'm actually, I'm going to do this right now. Call. Here we go. Ready? Call. I'm going to put a number out there, and you guys can call this number right now. And I want us to be able to do, this is a calling number. 1 second. You guys can all reach out. You can call. You can ask your questions for this training session only. A live one-on-one. Here you go. Let's do this. Boom. Who wants to do it first? All you got to do is call the number down below, and I'd love to be able to connect with you guys. Let's do a live one-on-one. If you have something that you're experiencing in the commercial real estate business, I'm here to answer your questions. First person who calls in, I'm going to answer it, and then we're just going to go to the next person and the next person and the next person. We're going to do it live. Nothing here is scripted. It is just, I'm here to just support you. This is me showing you, look, it is 9:02 p.m. here Eastern, and I'm here standing with all of you doing a live training, and I will help as many people as I possibly can. So call in if you'd like to. You can reach out. We're going to take some callers. You can also text that number as well. If you feel compelled and you have something you want to review, if you got something in your real estate business that you need support with, I'm here to answer the questions. Let's do it. Who wants to do our first live call? Please feel free to reach out. I'll leave the lines open. I'm going to turn on the ringer here. But you have the ability to do that. So if you guys feel compelled, it's 9:03 p.m. Eastern, and I'm just going to say, like, look, I'm available for it. So if you want to reach out, we're going to do this for the next probably 30 or so minutes. I'm going to start doing some training. So look, guys, the commercial real estate business is one of those businesses where, you are compensated for a few things. Okay. We are compensated in the commercial real estate business for a few things. Okay. So we are compensated, number one, okay, for finding, okay, good / great opportunities. Okay. This is one of the things we're compensated for. If you find good, if not great opportunities, you will be compensated each and every single time. That is one of the reasons why we are compensated. Okay. If you can find ways that other people make money, right? Like this is, people, right? Your buyers, right? Buyer, okay, will make money. Okay. You make money too, right? If you help other people make money, you will make money too, right? Help others. Okay. Help others make money. If you help other people make money in the commercial real estate business, you will make money too. It's not complicated, right? If you find good investment opportunities that make people money, that make your buyers money, that make other people lots of money, you will make money too. right? We make a percentage of what that investor will make. Okay, that's what we do as commercial real estate brokers. This is one of the ways that we are compensated. Okay, like right now, if and by the way, again, call 609-773-8132 for a live one-on-one call. We're gonna do it live. Again, this line's gonna be open for literally the next 30 minutes. It's not, it's not gonna be open 24/7, 365. But if you want support, we can do this. Right? Let's see what he says here. I've been watching you for years and you changed my life. You're a legend, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so very much. Thank you for the kind words. Here another question here. When do you know to start taking on brokers? So I'm guessing you're building up a team. By the way, you can call in and ask the questions as well. So if you feel compelled to call in and ask a question, you can also text that number 609-773-8132 for a live one-on-one call for the next 30 or so minutes. We're going to go to 9:35 for asking questions. But if you're wondering, when to take on brokers, it really has to do with your income. Like if you're personally earning over $500,000 a year, you should probably have a junior agent who helps you with your dialing, right? Helps you with your follow-up, helps you doing your tours, because you shouldn't be on every single tour. They don't need you at a tour. Right? If you're making like between $300,000 and $500,000 a year, you should probably have a TC, a lead manager, and start hiring junior agents. It just also depends on what your goals and ambitions are. Because if you're content making $500,000 a year, you don't need junior agents, right? But if you want to make millions of dollars, you will need lots of real estate agents on the team. You just will. Okay, it's very difficult to earn that on your own, but you can make mid to high six figures on your own as a commercial real estate broker. So again, how are we compensated? You are compensated in the commercial real estate business for finding good, if not great opportunities, helping people make money in the commercial real estate business, right? That is one way in which that we make money, okay? For the most part, and look, I do investment sales, right? If it makes money, I sell it, okay? In the commercial real estate business, I do investment sales. I sell all different types of real estate. If it makes money, I sell it, right? But, for us, so as an investment sales broker, again, we make money when we find good, if not great opportunities for other individuals to make money. That's how we make money in the real estate business. So if you want to make money in the real estate business, you have to find opportunities in which people can make good money. And the more money somebody's going to make, the more money you can make, right? Because you can think about it as an example. If someone's going to make, right, if someone, let's just say a buyer who buys a property is going to make $100,000, what would be a reasonable amount of money for you to make if you found a deal that someone can make $100,000? What do you feel like is a reasonable amount of money for you to make, right? What's a reasonable amount of money? 10 grand, 5 grand, 25 grand, right? 50 grand, maybe 99 grand, right? No. So like there's an amount of money that you would feel like is reasonable. In the real estate business, for the most part, we're paid, a percentage amount of the deal size, right? But in the way I look at it is the better the quality of the deal. If someone's going to make 100,000, I think it's fairly reasonable that I make between 5 and 10% of whatever they're going to make. So if they're going to make 100, right? I think that we should be able to make between 5 and 10K. I think this is very reasonable. If we help someone make 100,000, we should be able to make somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000. I just think that's fairly reasonable, right? However, okay, if we were able to make them $1 million, what happens if we were able to make them $1 million? Okay, how much do you feel like we should be able to make? What do you think is a fair and reasonable amount of money that we should be able to make? Well, in my opinion, again, 5 to 10%. So we should be making between minimally $50,000 and $100,000. Okay, so if you help somebody make $1 million, we should be able to make 50 to 100 grand easy, and by the way, this is with like no pressure, no nothing. I think it's reasonable that you should ask at least 5 to 10% of whatever you're going to make somebody else. I think that's very reasonable, right? I think that's incredibly reasonable. So, but think about it like this now. It's like how if we know this to be true, and again, you could even go up to 10 million. Okay, $10 million. How much do you feel like is reasonable for you to make? Well, somewhere probably between 500K, right, and $1 million. Okay. If that is the case, we know this to be true because this is a fact. If you help in the commercial real estate business, if you find a good enough deal where someone's going to go out and make $1 million or 100K or 10 million bucks, whatever it is, you can make 5 to 10% of that amount. Okay. Guess what? All you have to do is just go find opportunities in which people are going to make this kind of money. Because if you made me, okay, you brought me a deal that made me $1 million or $10 million, of course, it would be unreasonable, right? It would be crazy for an investor to think otherwise. They're like, oh, okay, of course you should be making 5 to 10% of that. Of course you should, right? Of course. But this is just what we do all the time. And we close, between 5 and 12 deals a month that help other investors, right? Make lots of money, make millions of dollars, because we know that we'll be compensated appropriately for it, right? So if you want to make more money in the real estate business as an investment sales broker in the commercial real estate side of the business, okay, you just get to go out and find opportunities, big enough opportunities, because guess what? Most of the time, this is resi, right? This is resi, okay, residential. Most of the time, you're going to be making somewhere like 100 grand, right? An individual who flips a house, or you can get somebody to wholesale it or something like that. You find a good deal for somebody to go out and make 100 grand. You're going to make $5,000 or $10,000 of it. Now, look, there are occasions where you can make a little bit more. Like, sure, there are occasions where, someone could hypothetically, might pay you, 15, 20, 25%. There are occasions where that occurs. Okay. Not always, but there are people who are, a little bit more open-minded. We work with a lot of them, where, again, this is more resi. In the commercial side of the business, that's where this is, right? And that continues on and on and on, okay? This is the commercial, okay? This is the commercial side of the real estate business. $1 million, making $1 million on a deal. Now, again, they might take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 years to make this type of money on a deal, but making this much money on a deal isn't unreasonable, okay? It is actually very common on a lot of real estate, and when it comes to real estate business. So it is obviously not unreasonable where if you help somebody make $1 million, that you're going to make $50,000 to $100,000, $50K. So it's just about finding these opportunities. That's what this is about, right? This is how you make a lot of. This is how we make a lot of money. We have an engine. We've created an engine of lead generation that creates an abundance of opportunities where people can make some, decent amount of money, between $100 and $10 million on real estate deals. Okay. And obviously one day, I'm working on a multi-billion-dollar deal right now. I don't know if it's going to close. I'll knock on wood. Okay. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Who knows? I just got a $3 billion all cash offer, and I still don't think it's going to get done at $3 billion, right? Seller's asking 3.3, but we'll see. Who knows? If God wants it to be so, it will be so. So we'll see. But anyways, think about it. If you made somebody 100 mil, right, you probably should be able to make somewhere between $5 million, right, and $10 million. Okay, the commission on that deal is $33 million, right? That obviously makes sense for a very, very large deal. Or 30, I think it would be 30 million at the, because it's 1%. But anyways, we'd be splitting it. But you get my point here. It's like, look, if you want to make more money in the commercial real estate business, go after and find deals in which buyers will make good money, because the more money you make them, the more money you will be paid, and the more money you actually technically deserve. I believe you deserve the money, right? When you find an opportunity where someone's going to go make a ton of money, you deserve to make a portion, right? That's how we are paid. Okay. So, now it's the question of how you go after and go create those opportunities. How do you go create them, right? That is the question. Right. And so many people are, they're not doing enough volume. Right. The question is, like, you need to be doing unreasonable. Okay. Unreasonable volume. And then you would need to do this unreasonable volume. And you need to do this over a period of time. This is over time, where this needs to be the amount of time needs to be long. It needs to be until results happen. Where I need to do unreasonable volume until results happen, right? Too many people just give up too soon. Too many people don't do enough unreasonable volume because they don't get enough results fast enough, and they quit. They quit after 6 months. They quit after a month. They quit after a week. It's just like, do you not understand? Like, you are asking the world, like you are asking of the world, okay, for reality to pay you at such a level, right, where it will take unreasonable amount of effort. It just will. Like, think about it. My buddy's a doctor, very, very close friend of mine. I love him to death. He's an anesthesiologist. He went through 12 years of school, 12 years of making no money, very little money. Okay. Very, very little money, and working ridiculous hours. Okay. This individual is, now, he's going to end up making mid to high six figures as his first high paying job out of, because he's well out of medical school, but he went to, he did fellowship and then this and then that afterwards, he's an amazing person, and he's one of the hardest working people I've ever met, and he never complains, right? He's just, he will do whatever it takes. He has he does
unreasonable volume. His effort is unreasonable. He's done unreasonable volume until the results happen. And that's what he's done. And that's why he's going to get a job making, mid to high six figures, and he deserves it. Right. And I'm sure he'll make seven figures in the next 10 years. Right. But he deserves it because he's done it for long enough. I mean, imagine a doctor who goes to medical school for, 1 year and goes, man, this is hard. You're like, yeah, you're not going to become a doctor. And he just like, but still complains that they're not a doctor. It's like, that's not how it works. You just have to continue doing it for long enough until results happen. And he's, that's just living proof of it, right? Like, I feel like I'm living proof of it in the commercial real estate business. I've just done unreasonable volume, right? Until results happened. And I will continue to do it because I want the results that I want. By the way, this results here, okay, is your goal. Okay. And by the way, right, every single one of you will probably earn $1 million. It just will be in your lifetime. It doesn't mean in a year. It just might be over a long period of time. Because there are some people, okay, think about $1 million, right? There are some people who make this over a lifetime. Hold on. Okay, there's some people who will do this in a lifetime. There are some people who make $1 million in a lifetime. Then there's some people who will do this in a year. Then there's some people who do this in a month. Then there's people who do it in a week. And then there's people who do it in a day. And then you have people like friggin' Larry Ellison who just made $100 billion in a day. Larry Ellison just made $100 billion in one day. He just did that today. Okay? Larry Ellison. Okay? You can be like Larry Ellison. This man made $100 billion, okay, in a day. You could be like Larry Ellison. And it's like, guess what? I might make $1 billion too, but it might take me a lifetime to accomplish it. Right? It might take 60 years of working, 70 years of working in order to make $1 billion. I don't know. I'm just going to go after it every day the best I possibly can. Right? I'm just going to do everything I possibly can to create results. And again, I might make $1 billion. Heck, like guys, in the next 30 days, we're going to do well over $1 million in fees. It's got nothing on Larry. Larry's crushing everybody, right? But it's like I'm going to do, in the next month, I'm going to do it. I remember you doing my first $1 million in a year. It blew my mind. I never thought that would be possible. And then I did more the next year and more the next year, right? And it's like I never thought that, and I remember doing it, for the first in the first quarter. I remember doing it in a quarter, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. I never thought I would do that. And now we're about to do it in a month, right? So it's like, okay, check. And now I'm just going to go to the next one, and hopefully we do it in a month, and then hopefully we can do it in a week, and then one day I'll hopefully do it in a day. And I'm excited to do that, right? But it's just by doing the best you possibly can every day. It's by doing unreasonable volume for long enough. Do I buy cash flowing assets in Mexico? I do not. We just had a question. Do you buy cash flowing assets in Mexico? I do not. Okay. I do not. No. I prefer the United States of America. I love the USA. I think there's a lot of opportunity in the USA. I think if you can, target the right markets, I think there's a lot of opportunity in this country to make a lot of money. Right. And by the way, look, guys, I'm here standing with you guys here. It is 9:18 p.m. Eastern when I'm recording this live. Eric, and it's like, there's unlimited abundance in this country. Again, Larry's proof of that. Right. I want to be Larry when I grow up. Maybe hopefully making $100 billion in a day. God bless Larry Ellison. I mean, unfreaking believable. Unbelievable. Right. And it's like so many people are struggling in the real estate business. Right. So many people are struggling in the real estate business because they're not doing volumes. You're not doing enough volume on a regular enough basis. It's like, guys, I talk to people, my team talks to people, but I've coached lots of people. My team talks to an insane amount of real estate agents and investors and wholesalers on a regular basis. And it's like, we talk to some of these people and they're like, hey, we're like, how many leads are you generating a month? And they're like, I don't know, 3. It's like, listen, if you're generating 3 leads, you're in the wrong business. You're just, you are not in the right business. Right. Or you just don't know how to do it and you're not doing the right activity. Right. Or you're definitely not doing it at enough of a volume where you're going to make any serious money. But most of the time you're probably in the wrong business or you're just doing completely the wrong activity. right? Or just not doing the activities at all necessary in order to create, results. It's as simple as that. Because if you want to actually make money in the real estate business, right, you're going to, you're going to do a lot of the right activity. Like I was speaking to somebody today who didn't want to make cold calls, right? But she is willing and more, not only willing, but she is committed to doing whatever it takes to still creating the financial abundance that she wants in life. I'm not just saying you have to make cold calls, right? My team and I, make several 100,000 cold calls a month. Okay. We use an auto dialer, we have programs and systems that allow us to do that. And there's a lot of people making calls, but, if you want to make a lot of money in the commercial real estate business, you don't have to cold call, but you do have to do an activity that creates, high levels of results, right? You do have to either, you got to either cold call, you got to door knock, you got to email blast, you got to do mailers, you got to do a lot of content online, you got to call up a lot of people and ask for referrals, right? There's only so many ways that you can actually, quote unquote, perform the action of prospecting, right? Creating opportunities. Right? There's only so many ways. There's not unlimited ways to do that. And there are so many people out there who are just not doing any of it, right? You're just not doing any of the activity whatsoever. By the way, again, if you guys want a free one-on-one call, all you have to do right now, this is for me right now. Again, if you want to call me right now and do a live one-on-one call 609-773-8132. Again, 609-773-8132. Please feel free to call. We'll do a live one-on-one call right now. I'll answer your questions. And we'll rock and roll. Love to be able to support you guys. But you got to call within the next 15 minutes. We're going to 9:35 p.m. EST. If you would like to connect with me live, I'd love to be able to support you in creating, abundance in your business. We can talk about the real estate business or whatever you need support with, investments or prospecting, lead gen, whatever. Okay. But please feel free to reach out. 609-773-8132. Let's see what other questions we have here. I'm just going to start answering some more questions. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Let's see what other questions we've got submitted here. All right. Here we go. You got a lot of you guys reaching out. Text message. I just want to make sure this is all getting vetted the right way. Okay. Awesome. Again, you can either call or text 609-773-8132. Let's see if there's any more text here for questions or anything you guys need. Let's see here. See if any of these questions I like. By the way, I was just working on a couple things, and obviously, I do a lot of one-on-one calls with a lot of people, and we do a deep dive in their business. We start trying to figure out the bottlenecks, the loopholes, and I found out a lot of things. Right, like one of the biggest things that I've noticed, by the way, is that there are people. There's a lot of you who are in the real estate business, commercial real estate business. Okay, where you're doing an amazing job. Right, you're generating lots of seller leads. Okay, you're doing a good job when it comes to this. Right, so seller leads regularly, check. Right, a lot of people are doing this. Okay. There's a lot of you out there who are generating a lot of seller leads, and you're doing a good job here. Okay. However, there's a lot of you who are struggling with the other side of the business, which is the buyer side. Okay. Which is generation, or buyer generation. Okay. And then also generating offers, which is like pitching the deals. Okay. Pitching deals / offer generation. Okay. There's a lot of people who are struggling on this side of the business. Okay. There's a lot of people who are doing a great job over here with seller lead generation, but there's so many of you who are struggling right here. Okay. And if this is you, you need to be paying attention, because I feel like so many people are struggling with this piece of the business, which is finding buyers for deals, pitching deals over the phone, getting offers on these deals. A lot of people are struggling with this side of the business. Okay. So if this is you, I want you to pay attention in the next few minutes. Very, 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 very important. Okay. Which is number one, first thing I would do is that I would find your top X amount of deals, top, like, I don't care if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever your best deals are that you believe are sellable. Okay. Then I would go to something like CoStar. I would go to Reonomy, whatever it is. Okay. And I would look up the people in the last 2 years who have bought products similar to those assets. Okay. So you find the people in those markets who've bought properties similar to the ones you're trying to sell. And they bought them within the last 2 years. Okay. They bought them within the last 2 years. Okay. That means they've obviously proven that, number one, they can close a deal. Number two, that they're qualified in order to buy other deals similar to it, probably. Like, there's a high likelihood, right? Especially if they own a lot of real estate. Like if they own 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 plus properties. Okay. And they just bought one or more in the last 2 years, they're probably qualified to buy another one, right? And if they bought a property similar, like a similar to the one that you have, they're probably going to be likely to buy another one just like yours. Okay. So look up the, people the last 2 years, because interest rates have been crazy for at least 2 years now, right? So I would go all the way back to the beginning, minimally, of 2024. Okay. So within the last, call it 2.5 years, and see who's bought property. And then what you do is that, and again, in tight radius, and you don't need a lot of these people, but I would tell you that you want your list to be somewhere between 30 and 200, right? Anything more than 200 is crazy. Okay. But you want to be able to reach out to this list of people first. Okay. So you're going to start building your VIP buyers list. Okay. So we're going to talk about buyer generation here. Okay. So first thing you're going to do is that you're going to find and call, okay, buyers, okay, who bought something locally, okay, within a couple mile radius. And obviously the more important piece is that you want to go out geographically. Again, last 2.5 years, you want to go out geographically for as large as it needs to be until you're between 30 and 200 people on your list. Okay. You can do this through Reonomy. You can do this through CoStar. You can probably do it through Crexy as well. I personally prefer Reonomy and CoStar. Okay. So you're going to find and call the buyers. Again, last 2.5 years. Okay. You can go back to, Jan 1st of 24. Okay. And what you're going to do is that you're going to look this list up, and you want to find, a similar product. Okay. Someone who's bought similar product within the last 2.5 years, back to January 1st of 2024. Okay. You're going to pull that list, and the list, okay, should be between 30 and 200, 30 to 200 people. Okay. And you're going to hit this list. You're going to call this list. Okay. Now, when you call this list, okay, you're going to do the following. Okay. Now, when you call this list, you're going to get all the criteria. Okay. You're going to get criteria of what they look for. Okay. It's basically, you're going to vet them. You're going to figure out what they want to buy, right? Like, what they want to buy. Okay. What they want to buy, where it is, how much, like, figure out a budget. What, you want to figure out, you want to vet them out. Like, by the way, this is like what do they own? Okay. That's how you vet them. What do they own? Tell me more about your portfolio. What do you own? Right. That, by the way, people will share with you. Right. Figure out what they own, figure out what they want to buy. And then if it meets the criteria of what you have, like your deal, you're then going to pitch them your deal. Okay. Now you're going to go into the pitch. Okay. When you're on the pitch, first thing I'm always going to ask is, are you, okay, in front of a computer? Are you in front of a computer? The reason why I ask that is because I want them to be able to look up the property. So you can say, are you in front of a computer? You can say, are you in a place where you can look up the property or look up information? They say yes. And if they're not, they're like, no, I'm in the car, or I'm in the meeting, blah, blah, blah. They're like, okay, great. When are you going to be in front of a computer and have a few minutes to look over a deal? Later tonight at 7 or tomorrow at 2 p.m. Great. Okay. I'll call you then. Great. Right. And they're like, no, I want to review the deal. Like, okay, well, you need to be in front of a computer because I'm not going to just send over information. We got to talk about it because this deal is going to be sold soon. Like, okay, yeah, call me today at 6, whatever it is. Okay. The point is, you want to get them on the phone, and because when you're pitching a deal, you want it 100% of the time. Okay. 100% of the time. 100% of the time. Okay. Over the phone. Okay. 100% of the time when you pitch a deal, you must be over the phone. Very freaking important. Okay. So because when you're over the phone, you can overcome objections live, right? Because the problem is when you send an email or a text message or anything like that, they could have objections. They could have not like the deal, but you're not going to get any feedback other than a no, right? Has anybody here ever just sent a deal and via email and then hope and pray they respond positively and then just write not for me or no response or the word no? By the way, that will happen almost every single time when you just send a text message with information or an email with some information. You're asking them to basically just say, you're giving them the ability to do that without giving any explanation. Okay, but when you're on the phone, you're going to be able to handle those objections in real time. Oh, no, it's not for me. Okay, great. Tell me why it's not for you. Can I just want to understand better about why this isn't for you, so I don't send you more deals just like this one. I want to send you more deals. Like what would make this deal for you? Oh, well, the price has to be this versus that. Well, and I don't like this town. Oh, I don't like this type of asset class. Oh, blah, 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 right? Like this is why I like to vet them and get the criteria first before pitching a deal. Okay, you want to do it 100% of the time on the phone. Okay, you want to do immediately. Okay, immediately send details. Okay, you want to immediately send details to the person. Okay, as soon as you can, you want to immediately send details to them when you're on the phone. So if they're in front of a computer, right? Are you in a place where you can look up the deal? They say yes, they check that box. Okay, you then make sure again you want to do this 100% of the time on the phone. You don't want to pitch a deal via email or via text. But you want to, as soon as you have them on the phone, okay, great. I just sent you an email with all the details. Can let's review it together. Can you open it up for me? Let me know when you've opened up the email. Or I just sent you a text message with all the details. Let me know when you get it. Okay, yeah, I got it. Okay, great. Now we're in the deal. Okay. Now what you want to do is you want to basically pitch highlights. Okay, you want to pitch highlights. Okay. You just want to pitch highlights. Very important piece here. Okay. You don't need to go nuts. You don't need to tell them every single thing you just wrote down. You basically just gave them all the details, but you want to pitch highlights. Listen, this when I say highlights, I mean like the very important factors of a deal that will cause them to make money. Hey, listen, you're getting a deal. This deal is it's like 17% under market, 15% under market. This property is it's a 21 unit deal at a great price. It's very under market. It's like, there's some easy ability to raise rents, right? You want to just give quick highlights, okay? And then you're gonna be like, listen, right now I need to get an offer on this ASAP. And if it's not gonna, if you're not gonna be interested in this deal, you're number one on my list. I tell every single person this, by the way. You're number one on my list, and I got a few other people right behind you. So if this isn't for you, it's okay. I just want you to be able to be, you can. I just want to let you know. It's okay. You're not going to hurt my feelings if this deal isn't for you. But I wanted to call you first and see if this was something you'd be interested in. And you review the deal with them again. You recite the highlights. You go over it, and then guess what? You say it, and then you shut up and you listen. Okay. Last piece here. Okay. Next thing here is listen. Okay. Very important. You need to listen. I kind of cut off my thing. Listen carefully when you pitch these deals. Okay, you got to listen carefully to these deals. It's very, very important that you listen carefully. You know why? Because they're going to give you their feedback in real time, and you need to listen to the feedback so that you can overcome the objections. Oh, well, I don't know if this deal's right for me. Oh, I think it's a little bit overpriced. Okay, well, when was the last time you bought the last property you bought? If it's multifamily, what was the price per unit you bought it for? Oh, well, I paid, $175 a door. This is $165 a door. So why would it not, why do you feel like it's overpriced, right? Or if they, if it's a retail or industrial, what was the last property you bought? Oh, okay, it was 123 Main Street. Well, I see that you paid, $175 a square foot. This property's at $160 a square foot. Why do you feel like this one's overpriced? Oh, well, like this, and this. Okay, well, you can handle the objections in real time. Right. And again, like most of the time, if there's you can look them up, by the way, on CoStar. You can look up properties on CoStar. You can look up, on Reonomy. You can see all the properties that they own. Right. So you can see it in real time. Oh, they just bought a property for X price per square foot. You can see that in real time. Right. So you must be listening very carefully to their to the objections and the feedback, right, that they have on these deals. Because a lot of the times, when you're pitching a deal, you're going to be able to find the opportunity where this deal actually looks pretty interesting, blah, blah, blah. Like they're going to start, maybe either saying they're interested or they're not interested, right? You're going to kind of see which path they're going down. They're only going to go down one of two paths. Okay. And if they're like, oh, I don't have enough information to make a decision, that's on you, by the way. Okay, that's on you, the broker. If they don't have enough information to make a decision on the phone call, right? That means you did not ask enough information of the seller to provide to you, right? Like, because it's very hard to pitch a deal if you don't have all the financials and everything. You don't need to have a printout of the every lease and all that kind of stuff. But you didn't need to have enough information to sell the deal. Okay. And if you don't have enough information to sell a deal, guess what? You're just going to end up having to call the seller back and get enough information for them to sell the deal. So make sure on the first phone call or within the first 1 or 2 calls, you get enough information to sell it so you can condense time frames. Okay. So listen, now if they start getting interested in the deal, this is the key part. Okay. This is a very, very important part. Okay. You need to get into, quote, the close. What is the objective? Okay. The objective, okay, of the call when you're pitching deals, okay? What is the objective here? It is to get an offer, okay? The objective here is to get an offer, okay? And when you get an offer on a property, right, you're gonna have, think about it, like, in order to make money in this real estate business, you need to get offers on properties. You just need to, okay? You can't do it without it. Okay, you just must get offers on properties if you want to make money in this business. Okay, every single deal that we've sold, okay, and we double end every deal. Okay, we do off market commercial real estate sales. I mean, that's, most, whether it's brokering, wholesaling, or me buying it, everything we do is off market. I have some of my agents on my team who have, listings. Like we have, I think we have $200 or $300 million in active listings right now. But I don't, that's not in my name. It's in my agent's name because I don't even want the phone calls. I'd rather take phone calls from you and do a live call right now, right? But which, by the way, is just closed out. So we're gonna close that out for today, right? So no longer available to take those calls. I'll shut off the phone there. But so it's important to realize, guys. Like, look, I'm interested. Obviously, I want to keep connecting with you guys. So again, if you have any questions, you can always email us at the email at info@henryeisenstein.com or comment on the any YouTube channel. I'll obviously be able to support you. Okay. But the objective here is to get an offer, because in order to make money in the commercial real estate business, off-market deals, you need a seller who's interested in selling, and then you need to get an offer from a buyer, right? A true offer, right? We have starter offers and true offers that we teach our clients, or the agents in the community, right? How to get them, right? So once you have an offer, the likelihood of you making money is infinitely higher. I don't care, and by the way, this is at any price, any terms. So, I just want to get an offer. This is the important piece. Too many people be like, oh my God, but they, like the offer, the seller wants $6 million and the offer is only for $5 million. Nothing's going to happen. You don't know that. You don't know that. Literally, I was just on the phone with a person today. They just bought this. They bought this property, multifamily property in Florida. They bought it for $7.25 million last year, and they're about to accept an offer for like $6.5 million because they want to sell. They're unhappy with their partners in the business. You just never know what people are willing to take until you start putting offers in front of them. Okay, so get an offer, and again, that's the objective of this. Okay, so let's talk about the close. Okay, so the question you need to ask is like, okay, so what are the best terms? Okay, you are willing to put in writing. Okay, this is a great close because you want an offer, right? What are the best terms you are willing to put in writing? Very, very important. Okay, so what are the best terms you're willing to put in writing? The great question there. Okay. And then if you're not willing to, like, well, I don't really know, I got to review it. It's like, okay, based on the information, another great question. Okay. Based on the information, based on the info provided, okay, roughly what price would make sense to you, right? What, based on the information provided, roughly what price, you can even just say makes sense to you. Okay, you don't even need to say what. Based on the information provided, roughly what price makes sense to you. Okay, and if you say either one of these questions, by the way, you are going to see results. You're going to be able to get some type of range out of this individual. And then you say, are you willing to put that in writing, right? The follow-up to this question, when you say to somebody like, oh, well, I don't really know. And then you say, okay, well, based on the information provided to you, roughly what price makes sense to you? And they say, I don't know, $5 million, right? Would you be willing to put that in writing, right? And you get them to put it in writing. And once you do that, you're going to, again, like when you can put, get, what do you call it? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 offers a day, a week, Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 offers a week, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 offers a month even. Okay. This gives you the highest likelihood of selling, of actually making money and actually selling deals and making money. A lot of people are struggling with this side of the business, right? But if you can, you know how to find the right buyers for any deal. Okay. If you know how to do that, you know how to pitch them appropriately, and you know how to, accomplish the objective, which is to get an offer. If you can do that consistently, you will, I don't want to say you can eat, but you're going to make a lot of money in the commercial real estate business. This is the piece that people forget, right? Because you need an offer on every single deal. You just have to find a way to generate not only a healthy amount of seller leads or opportunities each and every single month of deals that will, of individuals who are willing and able to sell commercial real estate deals at a fair and reasonable price, or at a price that will cause it to sell. Okay. And you need to make sure you're spending a good amount of time with the people where there is a clear path to transacting, right? Where they're willing to sell at a fair and reasonable price, one. And then you must spend the other portion of your day, right, finding buyers and pitching deals. And if you do that every day, you will make money. But the problem is that people spend, near 100% of the time, okay, which because you have the seller side of the business, okay, and you have the buyer side. Okay. And people spend way too much time on this side of the business in near zero time on the buyer side. But you can't do that. You will never make any money in the commercial real estate business unless you can control a very strong portion of this side of the business, right? You must spend, I don't want to say it's exactly 50-50, but I would tell you, look, if you're brand new, by the way, to the commercial real estate business, spend the first 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks here. Okay. Spend your first 30 days generating buyers. Then you can prospect for those people on the seller side. Okay. If you're, you've been in the business a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You've been in the business a little while and you're kind of struggling. Okay. I would spend 50% of your time here and then 50% of your time here. Okay. And after, for the newer agents, by the way, after your first 30 days in the business, you generate a bunch of buyers, then spend 50-50, right? Because you got to spend, half your day generating the opportunities and then half the days generating buyers and then selling those opportunities. That's the game, right? That is it. And by the way, this is just now you get it, right? This is the whole game of commercial real estate sales. And if you do this for long enough, you will make an unreasonable amount of money. I mean, you just will make more money than some doctors, some attorneys, some CEOs. You will make great money if you just learn how to do these two things in the commercial real estate business. Generate great seller leads, people who want to sell for fair and reasonable prices or better, right? And then find buyers who want to buy those deals and then pitch them the deals and get offers on those properties. That's the game. Again, if you have questions, please feel free to comment down below. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you've yet to do so. Guys, I came on here because of the tragic events that happened. I felt compelled to come on here to share more about me, my story, my values, what I care about, what I believe in. And I've said it 100 times and I'll continue to say it, right? I care about every single person possible, living a beautiful, abundant life in every fashion. I want them to live spiritually abundant lives. I want them to create, emotionally abundant lives. I want them to create relationally abundant lives, physically abundant lives, financially abundant lives. That's what I care about most, right? And I want to be able to give that gift to every single one of you the best I can, which is providing as much wisdom and information so you guys can go out there and create, incredibly financially abundant lives. So you can take the money to buy yourself some freedoms to go do the things that you care about most, right? Where you can, take the time to take care of your family, take the time to take care of the people in your life, spend the time living the life that you want to. And, that's what matters most to me, right? That's why I come on here and it's freaking 9:43 p.m. at night. And I'm willing to do an hour and 23-minute live stream of talking about how to make more money in the commercial real estate business, talking about what I care about most. That's why I'm here, right? So guys, if you felt like this resonated with you, if you enjoyed this content, if you want me to create more live streams, if you want me to continue to share this message, if you like the content, make sure you give this a thumbs up, comment down below. I'm always here to connect with you guys. I want them to do a lot more of these live streams. I feel compelled to do so. So I just appreciate you guys following the journey. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting and following the journey. It means the world to me. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I'll see you guys in the next live. Take care, everybody. Peace out. Have a good night.